Well, hello and welcome back. Thanks for coming back. Where are we? Well, the village of Armou. And there's the kiosk on the right hand side. Looks as though they're having a delivery of one of my favourite drinks, keen orange juice. And oh my goodness, what's going on here? Looks like the big diggering is coming up from Paphos into downtown Armou. There's a bit of road works going on, I think. They're clearing some bushes and oops, there's some more bits and bobs parked up, steamrollers and those kind of things. So you never know, they may be going to tarmac this road, because to be honest, this road, if you've watched one or two of Mr. Paul's videos, it's up and down like a, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. And there's undulations, dips and dives. There's manholes been put in place of potholes. Yes, that's the truth. There was a big pothole just round here, round the corner, that they repaired 3 or 4 times. That one there, and then one day they replaced it with a manhole cover. So you start to wonder, when you see manholes all over Paphos, perhaps they're actually potholes, although they put a manhole cover over it. Because on this road in particular, especially as we hit the village of Konya, there is just manhole after manhole after manhole. Now, I've got nothing wrong with manholes, but what was wrong with women holes? That's what I want to know. Anyway, we're dropping down into Konya village. The sky, it's a little bit blue. The sea, oof, that's blue. Mr. Paul, one thing's for sure, he's always dressed head to toe in blue. So all it's actually missing is you. Want to get yourself on that big bird or that canoe and start paddling like crazy, because we're quite simply missing you. Big shout out to some of the superstars that we're already missing, that we've had the great honour and pleasure to meet in downtown Paphos. My friend for life, Mr. Paul, the wedding photographer, that's what I'm going to call him from now on. And of course his spectacular wife, Miss Michaela, all the way from downtown Glasgow, that relocated to downtown South Africa and then went back all over and fell in love with a man called Mr. Paul. We're not bad, these Pauls. We're quite nice people. Every Paul I've ever met is an absolute superstar, I am sure. As is everybody else, by the way. Great pleasure last night to be accosted by a gentleman off camera and on camera, all the way from downtown in Holt in North Wales, just on the cusp of the Cheshire border. Wow, what a superstar he was, an absolute legend. I had a great honour and a great pleasure to have a chat with him earlier on in the day and later on in the day on camera, and we're looking forward to seeing him again. The rumour has it, so he said he's going to come back in November, December for a holiday and do it all over again, and this time we're going to go and get a drink or two together, that is for sure. Mr. Frank, very good morning to you, and a big shout out, and I hope you had a great holiday, and I hope your family did too. Let's keep going. We're heading into Konya. We're going to join the Limassol roundabout at the end of this, well, wiggly waggly road. Where are we going to go? I think we're going to go straight over, and we're going to drop down and eventually get to the inner ring road, heading out towards the Tomb of the Kings area. And if you come back for the next video after that, you know, if your name is Miss Hallie, you got a husband called Mr. Sean, and the 2 dads are sitting there watching as well. A lot of people like Paya, but it seems to be at the very top of their list, that's for sure. So that's where we're going. And just so you understand, if you do like Paya, Mr. Paul goes to Paya 2 to 3 times a day. Yes, there's an awful lot of customers in Paya, so we spend an awful lot of time in Paya. In fact, I even lived in Paya for 5 years. I think Paya is a great place. So if you're looking for that special place to go on holiday, you've got Coral Bay, and of course above that you've got Paya, or perhaps somewhere to relocate to. Paya could be that special place for you. Now, the weather. Let's talk about the weather. Now, it's a belated happy birthday to our weather girl. Unfortunately, the man in charge of that household is obviously Mr. Bobo, and he forgot, as did Mr. Sean. He forgot to tell us. So we wish Mr. Horn a very very happy birthday indeed, and we hope that those two chappies looked after you very well, very well. I'm losing my English. I think I need a coffee. So on that note, why not click through to our About page, where you will find the Buy Me a Coffee platform icon. You can click through to the Buy Me a Coffee platform, where you can register one of your little plastic cards and buy us a coffee or two as a thank you, or to, well, keep my vocal cords fluid so I can keep chatting away, especially for you. This total and utter rubbish that I talk, although some people do seem to find it that little bit entertaining and comical, all rolled into one. Come over the Limassol roundabout. Luckily we didn't have an accident, and now, well, the sun's come out. To be honest, I'm going to move from Armou, I think, because Armou was a bit dull and they were forecasting rain, and in fact we actually had a few drips of rain about half an hour ago as I was washing my car, because I like to wash my car every single day, just so you understand it. It gets washed every day. Whether it's going to rain or not, it still gets washed. And then I have a bag of cloths and, you know, these spray things in the boot. Yes, I've got lots of problems. Very OCD-ish on many things. And I do not like dirty cars. I really don't. And I was actually watching an episode of Harry's Farm, I think it was last night. And Harry was on there and he was chatting to the legend known as Jeremy Clarkson. And Jeremy Clarkson said something like he never doesn't like clean cars. That if he ever sees a clean car, he always thinks it's someone who's got not a lot going on in their brain. Guess what? He would be right. There we go. For once in his life, Jeremy Clarkson is right. But a bit of a legend, to be honest. I quite like Jeremy Clarkson. I think as time went on, perhaps he, well, who knows? Oh, there's my brother. He's just gone past us in this little black scalded earwig of a BMW. That's a Z4, and it's quite a hot one because it's got a 3-litre straight 6 petrol engine, so it does go like the clappers. And we're going to deliver this back to a gentleman who lives in Paya. So sit back and relax. And like I say, in the weather, you know, if your name is Miss Dawn, you've got a husband called Mr. Sean, a little cat called Miss Daisy, and a very clever dog called Bobo. Well, it's 24 degrees and it's just, what is it now, 10:15 in the morning, and we're in the middle of June, so not too bad. But to be honest, I think with all of the troubles that are going on in the world, I do think that is affecting the weather patterns. And I'm not on about all this eco stuff, I'm on about the problems that are going on in the world. I think you know what I'm talking about. There's a couple of wars, well, there's probably 4 or 5 wars going on, isn't there? But those things are not helping the climate and climate change. Although I'm no expert, perhaps I should go and talk to Jeremy Clarkson, because of course he's a bit of a man with a farm now. Anyway, look at that for a nice little roundabout. There's a lot of jets of water pumping out, and at night time it all lights up, and it does look rather nice indeed. Now, where are we? This is a little roundabout that used to be called the Debenhams roundabout. But of course Debenhams, which is on the left hand side, is closed down. So we're now waiting for a new name for it. And they're going to build a building 27 stories high with a couple of underground basements, hence the strange number. I think the above ground will be 25 and beneath ground will be 2. But anyway, it's going to be a very tall building indeed. So if you're looking for that special apartment with a spectacular view all the way out to Israel, if your name is Viking Ronnie, that could be the special apartment block for you. Big shout out to some of the superstars on the show. The girl in charge of the show, well, Dayman, good morning to you. Hopefully the weather in Hartlepool is treating you well, and I think it's about 83 days and you will be dancing the chuchka down the downtown Paphos promenade, and we'll be hugging and we'll be kissing you and we'll be doing all sorts of things to you. Let's cut through Universal, especially for some of the stars that own properties there and like to have a little bit of a mosey on down in Universal. Ronnie Miller, big shout out to you. He's the chief superintendent of all of the policing on the little channel known as Marika and me. And also we have a legalities expert. We have probably the greatest lawyer in the world, certainly in downtown Krakow in Poland, and she's also a judge. So if you're a naughty boy, she's going to slam that hammer down on you and we're going to send you away for the rest of your life. A big good morning, Dislin Dobra, to my superstar, the one and only Miss Anna Star, and a very good morning to her husband, Mr. Thomas, and of course my great friend and their son, Mr. Bart. And last night they went out to a Georgian restaurant somewhere in downtown Krakow, I presume, or one of the villages on the outskirts, and they went to a Georgian restaurant and they had some Georgian cuisine, and they sent us a great picture of some kinkalis, which is like little dumplings, little pastry dumplings that either have some meat in, or like a mincemeat, or like a cheese inside. And it's the second time they've been to this Georgian restaurant, so I'm getting the feeling that they must like that little bit of Georgian food. So you never know, one of these days we might fly over to Tbilisi, Georgia. We've got an apartment over there, Anna, and maybe we'll invite you to fly in and we'll have some khinkali all together, along with some other bits and bobs, and I'll have a nice can of Coke or two. This is Universal. We're sort of bypassing it down this little road here. It's a one-way street, by the way, but hey, this is Cyprus, so don't be thinking that you're not going to meet someone coming the other way. And often at rush hour, by the way, there's more cars coming the wrong way than there are going the right way. But there we go. Welcome to Cyprus. It's not a bad place, by the way. It's just that the policing is that little bit lax, shall we say, which is a good thing and a bad thing all rolled into one. If you want to do something wrong, it's a good thing, but of course the problem is everyone else knows that, so everyone else wants to do something wrong as well. But it's all fun and games in downtown Paphos on a spectacular day indeed, and we hope you're having a great day wherever you may be, and we hope to meet you one day. We hope you're going to jet into downtown Paphos or Larnaca, and perhaps walk from Larnaca all the way to Paphos. Won't take you long, 3 or 4 days, you'll be here, and we'll have a little bit of a dance down the downtown Kid of Paphos promenade. Big shout out to 2 superstars I met yesterday, and we got them on camera and then they buggered off, but I got them yesterday, or should we say they got me. Big shout out to the superstar Miss Tony, and of course her partner in crime, Mr. Matt Rhodes. Wow, absolute honour to meet these people. It really was. And guess what, Anna? She's a solicitor and a lawyer all rolled into one. And she's going to go and do a couple of days of teaching. Mr. Matt, well, he's got his online telecommunications business. He's busily making his millions, and they are, well, pirouetting all over the world. They're going here, they're going there. They hadn't been to Paphos for a long time, but they decided to come back. They used to live here 20 years ago for a couple of years, and then they went off on the travels. They've been to Mykonos, they've been to Kos, they've been here, they've been there, and they decided, hey, what, we'll go back and see Paphos, because we've seen this nutcase called Mr. Paul, so we'll go and hunt him down. And guess what? They found me, and we had a great chat indeed. Miss Andrea, what is going on? Why is this car stopped? I mean, he's very law-abiding, he's got an indicator going and all these kind of things. So, I suppose, okay, we'll let him off. We have now joined the ring road, which means we are very close to our final destination. Although that's not good words, is it? Because if anyone understands those films, The Final Destination, it always ended, well, badly, didn't it? Even if you got away with it once or twice, you always ended up dead at the end of the film. Quite interesting films. I think the first 2 weren't too bad, and then of course, well, you got used to the scenario that everyone was going to die. Some big diggering going on because there's a cement mixer and a cement pump in front of it. What's a cement pump, you're thinking? Well, that's a big lorry that allows the, well, it's got a big pipe and some rubber bits and bits and bobs, and of course it can go over buildings or over bridges, that kind of thing. So it allows the cement, the concrete, to be pumped from the back of a concrete lorry somewhere else rather than where the concrete lorry has to park up by. How do I know this? Well, many years ago I had a paving business, and we used to do pattern bridge concrete and block paving and slab paving and all those kind of things. So now and again we did hire one of those to come out to make our job, and that little bit easier if we were working at the back of a house. And it was always a spectacle, and everyone in all of the streets used to come and have a look and go, my God, what's going on? There we are. Where are we? We're coming up to the Paphos Mall roundabout, which means if you take a left, you go down to Paphos Harbour and Promenade area. The big shiny silver building, that's the Paphos Mall. So as the weather ramps up and you're feeling a bit hot, that's the place to go. Keeps you cool, and you can walk around one of the shops or two, buy a coffee, do this, do that, buy a mobile phone, and then come out and then go back tomorrow and do it all over again. So the Tomb of the Kings Avenue, the road, is coming up in a second. We're going to show you 1 or 2 of the restaurants, bars, and then we're going to say thanks for watching. And of course, if you like what you see, why not hit that like, click the subscribe, and perhaps come back for a little bit more of my madness. That's a bus that doesn't want to stop, so he's forced his way out. There we go. And he's got a big banner on the side saying Ocean Vision Super Yacht, so we'll blame them. When I see Tom in the harbour tonight, I'll say to him, it was your fault for stopping all the traffic because it was your logo on the side of that bus. There we go. 2 in the King's Avenue, we've got, I'm not going to stop Andrea, I'm going, there we are. Mr. Neil, choke that salmon down. We're not stopping those traffic lights, we haven't got time. We're off to pay it. So sit back and relax, kick the flip-flops up, off. My English is gone. That Marika's been stealing my English for 4 years now. That's it. Before long, all I'll speak is Swahili. On that note, thanks for watching. And if you like what you see, hit the like, click the subscribe, come back for a little bit more of my madness.